What's up, people? I am so excited to tell you about NordVPN, okay? Because I travel all the time, whether it's on a cruise ship, another country, a military base. And now sometimes I can't watch the UFC because where I'm at doesn't have it. Well, now I can because NordVPN makes it so that I can watch the UFC from different territories via streaming. It lets you change your computer's location to come from anywhere in the world. How cool is that? You might be wondering, what's a VPN? Okay, I know I was. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. And it's a service that protects your internet connection and privacy online. It creates an encrypted tunnel for your data. It protects your online identity by hiding your IP address. It allows you to use public Wi-Fi hotspots safely. Yes, so no one will track you or hack you, yada, yada. No one likes to be watched or tracked. I don't. Even if you have nothing to hide, still, we want our privacy, which is why it's important to step up your privacy game. Whether you're browsing through a VPN, when you are doing that, okay, your traffic is encrypted so that no one can see what you're doing online, all right? I know a lot of our listeners like to, be private. I've met some of you guys, and I can understand why. Here are a few reasons why you need a VPN, okay? Use public Wi-Fi regularly. You want to access your content. You want to stay safer online, and you're an avid gamer. So you get your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/roasted. You can get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan, plus 4 months for free. That's the best deal ever, right? It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. I am so pumped because now I can watch the fights from wherever I am. Because so many times I'm like trying to watch the fights and I'm like, it's the most frustrating thing ever. Well, now my life is going to change thanks to NordVPN. NordVPN, check it out. Highly recommend. You'll be thanking me later.
Let me bang. I do let you bang. Hey, let me bang you, man. I let you bang. I let you bang. Greetings, marriage and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No forget Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
What's up, people? Welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. Me, Adam Hunter. I'm with Don Frye from the hospital. Man.
You know that.
How are you, man? What's going on?
How the hell did you know I was in the hospital?
Look behind you, bro. You're in a hospital bed, and this is the best Wi-Fi you've ever had, by the way, just so you know.
No, that would make sense, yes. Okay.
I can see you clearly. What happened?
Acute kidney injury.
Oh.
So, yeah, my kidney stopped working, and then they stopped not working, and then they stopped working, and then it's just been a roller coaster ride.
Is this something you knew about before, or
is
is this recent?
Shit, partner, it's been going on for the last month and a half, 2 months.
Fuck.
You know?
But I mean, you're not much of a drinker, are you?
I didn't go to the hospital until last week. I thought I could write it out, but apparently I'm not very good at writing it out like I thought it was.
Fuck. Now, how bad? Now, what happened? Your kidney just started killing you, or you just had a severe pain? It must have been like, for you to be in pain, must have been like beyond pain, right?
Yeah, it was a pain, literally.
Oh, man. All right. So now, is this from drinking or just from like getting punched or what?
It's that thing, that part of the career they don't tell you about, you know?
Fuck, man. But what did they tell you? How long are you going to be there for?
We don't know. I've been here a week. I feel better now than when I first got here. Oh, you want to see some blood?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
We don't like this.
Is your Is your girlfriend with you or no?
No, that's the nurse slapping me around with the.
Yeah, I am. Ports.
The what?
I'm slapping you around with your ports.
Now, the nurse, have you ever seen a guy with such testosterone, a manly man?
He has the deepest voice that I've heard in a long time.
Now, do you know who this guy is, by the way?
I don't.
No.
All right,
I
so
know?
nurse, this is this is a former UFC champion twice.
No way.
He is the manliest man. He has the greatest fight of all time. He was a legend. He was an amazing wrestler. He's in the UFC Hall of Fame. This is
my God. We have to talk wrestling. My son's a wrestler. He's been wrestling since he was 3 years old. He's 15 now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, wait.
Huh? He literally got a growth spurt. So he's like 140s now. He's as tall as I am.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's like between 150, 140.
Well, tell your son your patient is Don Frye. Because this dude, he was also an incredible actor. He was in King Kong. He was in Godzilla. He's been in right?
Not King Kong, no.
Oh, he was in
You don't like to brag about yourself, do you?
He was in Godzilla.
So interesting. I could sit here all day and listen to it.
Yeah, this dude, he was a fireman, and then they kicked him off the fire department because he wanted to fight in the original UFC. And he went over to Japan, and he wore this. Back in the day, he wore this red, white, and blue Speedo that all the girls went crazy.
That's amazing.
All
right, John. I'll be back in a little while with some more minutes for you, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Damn. I was about to tell you some of my problems, but my problems seem very trivial right now compared to you. I just got back from Alaska, doing a show in Alaska, and
All right, cool. How'd it go?
The show went good. So Sean should be here. It went good. It's funny though, because I was talking to this girl afterwards, nice girl, and I'm like, oh, so she showing pictures of her kid, and I'm like, oh, is the father around? She's like, no, he died in a car accident. I'm like, oh, sorry, what happened? She's like, he got hit by a moose. I was like, oh, and I don't want to laugh, but I'm like, you don't hear that every day, you know?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, it's a good thing. The guy, he was a piece of shit anyway. It's better, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't a good, but I'm just like,
Wow.
I never heard anybody get
That's nice. Man, that's a nice headstone to have, right? You know? What a piece of shit dad that he's gone.
Yeah, she was happy. Yeah, she was actually happy.
Yeah.
But it was good because my friend booked me from high school who actually, he like picked on me in high school because I did a wrestling tournament one time, a freestyle, and I came in second. Those were only two people. So essentially I just lost to the same guy twice. But he gave me a hard time for that. At that point, are you really coming in second? By the way, did you watch the fights last week, Don?
No, sir.
All right, well, I'll tell you what happened. So Israel Adesanya lost. He lost the belt.
Wow.
To Alex Pereira, a guy that beat him twice already in kickboxing. But Adesanya was winning. He won definitely the first three out of four. Some people had him 4-0. I had him 3-1. And then the other guy's corner was like, you got to knock him out. And in the fifth round, stopped him. It was a little bit of a controversial stoppage, but the guy was stumbling around. He was looking down at his feet. He was getting hit a lot. But according to, Stylebender, he's like, I was a champion. You gotta let me go out like a warrior. I could have came back. There were instances where people have come back from worse, but it wasn't a bad. Right. But it wasn't that bad of a stoppage. What are your thoughts on like stoppages like that?
How did he seem after the stoppage?
He was pissed. He was pissed, but he got hit with like 6 or 7 in a row, and a couple of them, his face went right back. You know, like when those uppercuts where the guy's head goes. That's kind of what happened. I was interested in. We got McCorkle coming in. Interested to hear his thing because it was, it was the champion. You know, kind of like if you're the champion, do you let the champion go out on a shield, or do you treat it like every other fight?
Well, it depends on how bad he's got thumped. You know, but
Right.
it really does. But thing is, Israel should be able to make a comeback, you know, and regain the belt. So, and there's guaranteed money in a rematch.
Right. He was fighting great. It was actually, I think, some of the best he was fighting. But he got a little cocky. He was doing the dancing. He was doing the footwork. He was doing the Ali shuffle. McCorkle, are you with us?
I bet he won't do it the next fight.
So Don's in the hospital. He's been there for a week with kidney damage. But he's doing all right. He seems like he's the best Wi-Fi we've had him so far.
There's one positive you pulled out of his sickness.
Sean, what did you think of the stoppage?
What did I think? I thought it was a little bit premature, although in my defense, I love watching Israel get punched in the face. So I wouldn't mind seeing him get hit a couple more times. But I think it's tough, man. It's a tough call because if he gets hurt really, really bad with an extra couple shots, people will be like, oh, they should have stopped it. But I think when you're the champion, you've shown enough as much toughness as he has. And you can't say he's not game, man. Whatever you say about Israel, he's got balls, man. He hangs in there and he does. He's got balls and titties. I would have liked to see him get hit a couple more times before they do it. But when you got a guy like Pereira hitting you, man, you gotta be careful with that too, man. Because that dude has, I don't know how in the world he's making 185 pounds, but he looked twice the size of Adesanya, and Adesanya is a big 185 pounder. So,
Sean, how many painkillers have you taken today?
How many have I?
Yeah,
virtually none, but I do have the flu, man. I'm really sick, man. Like I flew out from San Diego, and then I went to San Diego, then to Houston, and then back and all this, and I literally no sleep at all. So I'm going on about probably 12 hours sleep in 5 days. So
damn.
So I got Don in the hospital, me probably shortly on my way to the hospital with the flu. So we'll see. I should have had, if I just would have had my damn vaccination and worn my mask, everything would be fine. So, I guess I learned my lesson. So
yeah, you're a bad person. You're a danger to America.
Yeah, I'm killing people's grandpas out there everywhere I go.
So Don, also Carla Esparza lost the belt. She fought that girl Zhang, the girl from China, who looks like they built her in a lab. I mean, she's shredded but strong. I mean, I don't think she has an ounce of fat on this girl. And you know, everyone thought Carla would have the advantage in wrestling. The other girl in striking. Carla landed a couple of good punches, but this girl's wrestling, she was taking Carla down. And then when finally Carla did get a takedown, she got choked out immediately. Like, what was the second round? I mean, it was pretty. This girl's dangerous. Sean, what do you think about that fight?
Dude, she is. I know Rose beat her twice, but I still think she's the best fighter, 115 pounds, man, in the world. I would say Rose was lucky beating her. She did beat her, but that girl, man, I don't know. I say that in the highest form of compliment that it could be, that she fights like a man. She really does. She moves like a man. She fight like she has the coordination of it looks like a male UFC fighter. It really does. Like it's which I'm sure we're not far from the first male UFC fighter competing against females at some point. But she's tough, man. That chick is something else.
So that was the best fight of the night, Don. So Dustin Poirier fought Chandler, which, you know, everyone's like, is this going to build up to us? It was build up. So what happened was, first round, Chandler was winning, and then Poirier almost stopped him, like hurt Chandler at the end. Second round, Chandler came back and beat the shit out of Dustin Poirier. Someone told him wrestle, and he finally I wouldn't say like an idiot, but he was doing one of those things where he takes the guy and like picks him up in a double leg and carries him around the ring, which,
right.
And he did that, which looked great. But then the third round, he had no more energy.
Yeah, it's a waste of energy. Yeah.
Like, is that an ego thing, or because are you really hurting the guy that much when you slam him down like that?
No, you might be thinking you're thinking you're Bruce's, you're hurting his ego, but actually, you're screwing yourself by wasting all your energy to do something stupid. I mean, get the damn win, and then you can show off and dance and do the stupid shit,
Yeah. So the third round, he got choked out, and at the end they went to embrace, but I guess he said that he was fish hooking him. So Poirier's like, "You're a fucking dirty fighter," blah blah blah, and then they went to the tape, and he was fish hooking him, as well as hitting him on top of the head. So, but it was a great fight. I mean,
who was the referee?
Who was the referee for that, Sean?
I don't know. I'm not sure on that one.
But what did you think of that fight, Sean?
I thought it was awesome. I actually, because I was, at a wedding, so I didn't get to watch them live. I rewatched them on a very legal stream. But but yeah, when I watched them, when I watched it, I was like, I had misread, and I thought that Chandler had lost by decision. And after the second round, I was like, dude, these dudes are full of shit. If they unless Poirier dominates this third round, there's no way he won his fight by decision, which and then he stopped him. I was surprised. But Chandler, yeah, man, is an animal. That picking up and carrying him around, though, that was a complete stupidity. I mean, I haven't seen anybody carry someone that far since Joe Rogan carried Brendan Schaub into a stand-up comedy career, like
even with the flu, nothing will stop Sean. By the way, Brandon Schaub said that he said Alex Pereira or Pereira, whatever, can't beat a top 5 guy, but he just beat 2 top 5 guys.
He said he can't beat or be a top 5.
He can't beat a top 5 guy but he just beat the number 1 guy and the number 3 guy. So that doesn't make.
I'll tell you what, man. You want to make a fortune for real. If you want to make a fortune, just get all Brendan Schaub's picks and pick the opposite, because he hasn't been right about a fight that I can remember in recent memory. Man, it's like he all he does is copy all of Luke Thomas and Ariel Helwani's takes on all the pre-fight. If you watch his interviews, or watch their show and their picks, he just copies it word for word.
Yeah.
And then, but then picks the wrong fighter, and then we'll tell you he'll pick Adesanya to win, and then when Pereira wins, he'll say, "I told you guys it was going to happen. I called it Pereira," or whatever. Like, dude, you can't. No matter who wins, you can't say that you called it. Every no matter who wins, he always says it. Well, yeah, I called it. I called it both ways. It's
crazy.
Something else, man.
So then this guy, Dan Hooker fought this guy, Wellis, right? This guy went for 19 Imanari rolls. Like after the first 2 didn't work, it was pretty evident that this dude, he kept going. He had 0 plan B, and eventually got tired from going for so many rolls that Hooker just kicked him in the stomach, and the fight was over. But
what happened?
The guy went for at least 19 Imanari rolls. He just kept going for them. And he almost got him a couple times, but I guess he won his last 3 fights that way by breaking the guy's leg, by getting a knee bar. But the guy, it was obvious that this dude was not going to get, and he had 0 plan B. If he ever fights Ryan Hall, it'll be the funniest. It was like a guy that was playing a video game that just kept going with the same move over and over and over. Right. That's exactly what happened at the highest level of the sport, to the point where it got and it was an MSG, so it was just boob. It was ridiculous. It was like a UFC 1 fight, basically, where one guy knows one thing and then the other guy knows another. It was insane. It was fucking
19 Imanari roll sounds like my order at a sushi restaurant every time I go, man. I don't know. I don't know what an Imanari roll is, but I've heard that term repeatedly. So
it's basically you do a forward somersault into the guy and trying to get his leg, and
yeah, that works every time. Never. That works bigger Ryan Hall one time against BJ Penn. I think that ever worked. So.
Yeah, right. And then Ryan Spann knocked out Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes is gone 0-4 since the John Jones fight. Best fight.
And I thought he beat John Jones. That's what's crazy. I thought he beat John Jones. So
and he got knocked out quick in this one. Which by Ryan Spann started fighting at 24. I don't know how the guy got so good, but that's what happened there. Frankie Edgar, by the way. So it was Edgar's retirement fight. It was the last fight, Madison Square Garden. Of course, they give him a guy who's like 160 in a row, and Edgar gets kneed in the face, Don, and it's over. It was in front of his kids and family.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like you said.
You know, they have a way of pissing when you're on your way out the door, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess Frank really had himself to blame because I guarantee you he paid for those tickets for his wife and kids to be there because I guarantee they didn't give them to him for free. When Stephen Bonner was getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, he had to pay for a ticket for his wife to come watch him get inducted to the Hall of Fame. That's what I heard.
Oh,
so,
God. But Sean, you're right. They should have a guy like Mike Jackson who everyone could just beat on the way out.
Right. There's really nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a guy, or if you're going to do it, worst case scenario, do Frankie and Diego Sanchez so at least one guy gets a win on the way out. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to do that, like, one legend on the way out. But they love to do the WWE thing, except WWE's fake, obviously. But they'll have, they say it's they kind of have a term for it, WWE. I don't know what it's called, but like, your last match when you go out, if you're a legend of the sport like Terry Funk, you lose to an up-and-coming guy to help pass the torch on to him so he can say to be the toughest new guy, or whatever. But yeah, I would love to see the UFC just one time. Like I said, man, Tony Ferguson, one of these guys, if they're going to give him a fight, give him a James Toney, like when Randy Couture fight James Toney, give him somebody like that they're going to beat just one time, man. Just one time, let one of these guys go out and win,
100%. And then there was a guy named Trezano versus Choi. There was zero defense. Like the Capitol building had better defense. It was crazy. They had a double knockdown in the first round. They both landed at the same time and both fell down. Like, Don, you ever have a double knockdown?
No. I think that'd be funny though. That would have been a good one.
So, by the way,
I actually own the rights. I sell it sometimes. Have you ever seen the double knockout video where Shoney Carter is the referee, where both guys knocked each other out at the same time?
Yeah,
that was at my fight promotion that I bought for my brother. Like, both guys got knocked out, and I actually licensed that to the MTV show Ridiculousness every now and then. I sold it to a Japanese company one time. My brother sold it to JCPenney for 6 months. They used it for 6 months. They paid him $75,000 for it. To use that for 6 months on one of their ads. But I was there that night. Both guys got knocked out. And one of the guys would go around trying to pick up girls by saying, I'm the guy that got knocked out in the double knockout video. And I was like, dude, that's your pickup line? Like, you go around, hey, I don't know if you know, but I got knocked out on that JCPenney commercial. That was me getting knocked out. Like, dude, that is a terrible pickup line.
That's desperation. That is desperation.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's a guy named Zion Clark. Clark. The guy has no legs. He's a black guy, but he's like a power lifter. He was like, I guess, an all-American wrestler. He's now going into MMA. How is this going to go? What do you guys think about that? I mean, who's he going to, do they have to modify the rules for this guy, or who should he fight?
He should fight, that Chinese broad.
Zhang Weili.
He wouldn't be interested in her because Adam already said she has no fat on her. So,
yeah.
Because he's a black guy, he wouldn't have any interest. Come on, that's a great joke.
No, I got it.
So, I've been holding that one since Adam said she had no fat on her. I was waiting to come up with a joke about a black guy not being interested.
Thank you, thank you for that. Have you guys seen this guy, Zion Clark?
I have not.
All right, let me see if I can find. But yeah, the dude. I mean, it's
all half of him, but that was like.
I mean, he's pretty damn impressive. Don't get me wrong; he's very impressive. But I just don't know how this is gonna work. I mean, you can't let.
Oh fuck! Anybody who doesn't have any legs and doesn't give up on life is a person.
Can you guys see?
It's blurring it out like the rest of your background. It's making his legs disappear.
Oh, hold on. All right, let me see if I can find it.
It's too fast.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find
I know James Krause. I got in an argument with James Krause because he told me the guy who's the guy that fought for Bellator that only has one arm?
Nick Newell.
James Krause actually argued with me that that's an advantage, only having one arm. And he said, because you can't arm lock him or arm bar that arm, or you can't do anything. I said, so you mean to tell me that if I fought a guy with no arms and legs, he has the advantage because there's nothing I can do to him? You know what I mean? Like there's nothing like there's point blocks or whatever. But I thought he was joking. He was dead serious. He goes, dude, what are you going to do? You have an entire appendage that you can't submit him with. You can't anything. I was like, yeah, but he also can't punch you with it. So like it makes
that is why Biden is president now.
Why? I'm not really following the logic here.
Stupid people get the vote.
Oh, okay, got it. I thought because all right. So here's the guy right here. Zion Clark. Hold on, let me see if you guys can see. This is what he looks like. I mean, super impressive with this. But
he looks white here.
Yeah, I thought you said he was dark. Very impressive video camera work you have there.
I mean, did you guys see this at all or no? Can you see him?
Oh, it's just a white screen is all I saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hold on. Choose a virtual background. Blur my background. Here we go. All right. So no, none. Okay. Now, okay. Here we go. Now can you see? Hold on. So, ready and action. Hold on. Here we go.
I'm glad this is your show.
This is all right. Hold on. It's not now my Wi-Fi is not working. But anyways, this is what the guy looks like. Can you guys see him?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Only the top half.
I mean, I don't see how that's gonna work. I mean, I just should there be like Special Olympics for MMA? Is there? I just don't see. I mean, who's gonna want to lose to a guy with no legs?
Yeah, it's called the women's heavyweight division.
Oh, here we go. Look. So here you go. You see? I mean, the guy's strong as shit. Thoughts, Sean?
In all seriousness, man, you don't want to make a joke, but it makes me feel pretty bad about myself when a guy who has no legs like that keeps himself in far better physical shape than I keep myself in, you know what I mean, or whatever like that. Like that guy is really putting in the work and hasn't given up on life and is really going through it, man. Like it's stuff like that's inspiring to me, man. Like it really is.
Yeah.
Everybody wants me to make a brutal joke or anything, but really there's something to really be said for that guy like that doesn't let him get him down, man, and really I mean, that's amazing. Really, it's phenomenal. I think
very inspirational. Very inspirational.
What's up, people? BetOnline.ag. Basketball is back, and BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. You always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. And as your continued source for sports wagering information, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports and events. You can bet the NFL, NBA, NHL, MMA, tennis, boxing, even golf. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code CLNS50 to receive your rewards. BetOnline, where the game starts. Check it out. 1000%. Now, a couple things. I talked to Mayhem Miller, by the way. So I'll update on him. So he's in jail. He's in jail right now, and he's leading the workouts at Chino State Penitentiary. I guess
good.
There's a kickboxing team in the yard, and they
what day is the breakout?
And they have trans cheerleaders. He told me. There's a lot of trans. Yeah. So just want to let everyone know that he told me to let everyone know about that. So
is he leading that too?
What kind of team do they have that they need cheerleaders? I'm so confused. Like, is it it's a workout team?
I guess he's teaching inmates kickboxing, and then there's like a trans cheerleading team that cheers on the practices and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think I saw that in a real bad movie somewhere.
So my couples therapy is going well. You want to hear about my couples therapy, by the way?
Sure.
Yeah. Let's hear something fake.
Oh, this is true. This is like legit. Yesterday we had couples therapy, and I don't know. My wife was upset because I got offered this like show, a Christmas party at a strip club at the library. It's called the Library. Which is, I guess, kind of funny in itself. And she's like, no, you're like not doing that. I'm like, they're paying me a lot of money. It's just a Christmas party. So then she tells the therapist, like, oh, he's gonna be at a strip club for Christmas, which is not the situation, right? So that became a whole, and I was
Even though it's exactly the situation, that's not the situation.
Well, I'm not. It's not. I don't even
exactly what's happening.
I don't even think the party is at the strip club. I think the party is at like a banquet hall. It'll be
the library. I'm sure somewhere real classy, wherever the strip club got a real classy joint together. Kind of like, I always wonder where the adult video like awards are held at. Like, is there some real classy like a banquet hall? I don't know.
The funniest is like when David Tell was hosting that one year. And David Tell's like my favorite comic, and he like wasn't doing as well as he should have. People were just not into the comedy, and he looks at the crowd and just goes, "Dreams." That's all he said. Like,
I'll tell you what. I'll save your marriage for you.
Yes.
You write the jokes given to me. Let me do the job, and we'll split the money 50-50.
That sounds amazing. So that was that, and then my wife and I were, things are getting better, but I was like, it's just like there's like two sides to my wife. There was the side like that's like fun and like wants to watch porn and wants to do this and used to make out with girls, and she's like one girl in college once.
Sure, right.
She's like, I should have been out with more girls. I go, and then there's the part that's just like yelling at me at everything, like fucking Captain Killjoy, just not having fun. So then that's we're working on that,
That one's here to stay.
Typically, when you attempt to bring other naked women into any part of your relationship, it's going to backfire.
Oh, yeah.
Come to find out that that's not really the, that's not usually the recipe for a happy relationship.
No, I don't want that. I'm just saying that there used to be a fun side to her that's like the fun, happy. I'm not asking her to bring anybody else. Trust me, I have enough as it is. I don't need more. So that was crazy. And then, meanwhile, so I did this show last night at the Dime Bar, right? So I do this. First of all, did I ever tell you the story about the blind guy on stage?
I don't think so.
So I was late.
I didn't see that one.
I was late for a show, right? And because I was doing the Scott Baio charity golf tournament, right? And this is like 2 years ago, and this host is upstairs. I was on stage bombing, right? So he's on stage bombing, and I guess it was like 4 people in the crowd, and one of them was blind, and he was heckling. So he's like, "Oh, you think you could do better?" And the blind guy said, "Yes." So he goes, "I like to never do that. You never give up the microphone as a comic, ever. You never give. It's just it never goes well." Okay, yeah. But of course he does this. So the blind guy takes the mic and he just starts talking to the wall because he doesn't know where he's looking, right? So
which is automatically funnier than anything a comedian can do.
So he's cursing at the wall. So I walk in through the back. Right, because that's what, and then I don't know what's going on. I see a blind guy yelling at the fucking wall, and I'm like, "Who let him on?" And then they're like, "Me." So I didn't know he's blind. First, I start lighting him. Right, I start lighting him like get off the stage. But of course, the guy can't see me because he's fucking blind. Right, so then I have to go and grab the microphone from him. Now no one knows who I am here, because so now everyone thinks I just robbed the blind guy of the mic. So that was fucking
his dream.
Then fucking last night I do a show, right? I go on at the end. I put on like 20 comics before me. I just came from the vet because my cat has bronchitis. That was $900 to find out that, and we were there for 5 hours.
What is robbery, man?
Oh, dude, it was fucking brutal. I was there 5 hours with my kid, and then of course she doesn't want me to go because I want daddy, and because I'm like the fun guy, and then my wife's upset. I'm at work all day, and she wants you, and not me, and so we're arguing. I can't do.
Yeah, well, listen to you, damn it.
so then so then I get there, I go on stage, and I'm like making fun of people. First of all, there's a black guy in the crowd eating seaweed, and I was like, man, they're really promoting this Little Mermaid, because like so he's like, and then this Asian comic, hot Asian girl, Jia Ying, right, fucking smoke show, comes in and starts like, she's supposed to be on like she's an hour and a half late, and we got to end by 10:30, right? It's like 10:25. So I'm like, why are you late from the stage? She's like, oh, my husband, I can't talk about it right now. It's so tragic. She's like, I'll tell you when I get on stage. So now I have to bring her on because she's like, someone died. Can I tell everybody? So I give her the mic, and then she goes on about her husband's dying, and now, but not any jokes about it. Everyone's like, what's going on? Everyone's confused. The fucking owner of the comedy club is hitting me up like, why is she on stage? We're supposed to be done by 10:30 because there's a fucking camera in there. And at the end, I'm like, Jia Ying, what happened? She goes, oh, he didn't die, but I want him to die. I wish he was dead, my ex. And I'm like, fucking, like, so I got fucking duped into putting her on, which is just fucking crazy. Fucking madness, bro.
Probably should have put the blind guy on instead and let him talk to the wall. That would have been a better choice, I think. Oh, God. It's like you had a hell of a week, man.
Oh, dude. And then, like, my daughter asked me questions. I get in trouble for that. She goes, Daddy, what does thick mean, right? Like, thick? I'm like, oh, it means kind of fat. Oh, really? It does? And my wife starts chiming in. Like, I can't even give her explanations for that. I'm like, well, look it up. So now we're, like, arguing over looking shit up. And then, yeah, it's fucking crazy.
And if you spell it with 3 C's, that's actually Brendan Schaub's original copyrighted Thick Boy material. Bert Kreischer or somebody had Thick Boy Wear, like THICC, and Schaub said that he came up with something more original. He added another C to it, so he has Thick Boy Wear, and he says all the time that people copy this. Like, I can't believe how people copy my idea, man, calling it Thick Boy. I've got 3 C's. They only use 2. Like,
oh, God. Fucking crazy. So anyway, I'm reading Ben Askren's book, by the way. And
you got a book already?
Yeah, he sent me the book. And he autographed
real short one.
I figure after his fight with Masvidal would be his tombstone you were reading. I thought he was dead after that.
Well, I tried to put it like standing up, but it keeps falling down. Anyway, but so Askren's book, by the way.
That's it. That's the best you come up with.
I haven't. I got more. But Askren's book, by the way, it's a really good book because the guy talks. I'm talking to him on Friday about it, but he talks about how, Don. So he was a good wrestler in high school. He like won the Fargo National, but freshman year he was getting killed. He redshirted. He lost like 10 matches, and then he's like, I'm never gonna be stronger, faster, and quicker than these guys. So, but he goes, but I could probably outfunk them. So he like scientifically invented a new way to beat these guys in college, and ended up having the most pins ever in NCAA history. In fact, if it wasn't for Chris Pendleton, who beat him he lost 8 times in college, but one guy beat him 7 times. With Chris Pendleton, like, take away Chris Pendleton, he's arguing he could have been one of the second best college wrestler ever because he only had 1 loss, and he was a 2-time national champion and lost to Chris twice in the finals. He would have been a 4-time national champion. But the fact that he invented a way of beating other people is insane. To me, it's fucking pretty genius. I mean, but
did he explain what the funk involved, or was it just something he made up on his own that he just gave credit to the wins for? Did he actually say what the funk was?
No, I mean, he basically found ways to out scramble guys, to get people in bad scrambling positions where he could score, to make everyone uncomfortable, which is like, I mean,
he should have just took his shirt off. That makes me uncomfortable every time he does it. Like, he'd have to wrestle without a singlet, just take his shirt off. I get uncomfortable every time.
Well, he talks about having Asperger's, right? And he says that he checks every box in Asperger's, or almost every box, which I told my wife that. She's like, you check every box too. She's like, I really hope that you do have Asperger's. Otherwise, you're just a dick. It's like, because it's like the box. The boxes, according to him, he's like really bad with reading people, reading body language, bad with eye contact, and really good at like one thing, like finding one thing and super focusing on that, which is essentially what he did.
You're getting hit with knees in the face. That's what he's an expert at.
Well, so the doctor told him when he signed with the UFC, he only had a year and a half, a year max before he would need hip surgery. He's like, your hips are totally fucked. And when he said he fought, he said when he fought Masvidal, he couldn't lift his left knee. He couldn't throw a kick. Like his knees were so bad. And he also decided a year before that to stop sparring. He said he watched the movie that Will Smith was in with CTE, whatever movie that was, and decided that I'm not going to spar anymore, which is what he needed. I mean, so essentially he went in there and he goes, I can't figure out why I didn't move when Masvidal came running at me. I'm like, probably because you had no hips.
Right. Or probably the same reason he got knocked out by Jake Paul, why he didn't move when that happened either. Or when he got out grappled by what's his name?
Maya?
Yeah, like Maya. That was probably his hips also. Like maybe his hips lied to him and told him they could move and they didn't.
Oh, like the Shakira song?
Right, yeah, maybe they just his hips are liars.
I mean, Don, have you ever went into a fight like that where he basically, he has no hips, but he could still win?
Yeah, many times.
What's your thought process?
What?
Why would you do that?
Because I'm a dumbass. I love my family, try and put food on the table for them, take care of them. And that was all for naught.
I mean, nobody told you at that point. Coaches are like, hey, man, you can't lift your leg. I can't let you in there.
Oh, they worked for me, So they,
I mean, Sean, you couldn't walk your last fight. You literally couldn't walk to the diner from the car. What type of corner man did you have?
I actually just had a couple of my friends do it. Turned out they were great friends, but no, I knew. I knew I shouldn't have been in there, and I knew especially right before I walked out, I thought I should just pull out. But dude, I'm real big on. I know it's old-fashioned or weird or whatever, but like, man, when I give you my word on something, like I have the craziest story you'll ever hear in your life. I can give you the condensed version, or a really short version. My friends get married in Las Vegas. I was never a real big strip club guy, like not my thing. And when I was married, I don't like when I'm in a relationship, I don't even go to Hooters because I think it's disrespectful to my girlfriend or wife to go to Hooters because I just like if there was a restaurant where guys' dicks were out all the time, I wouldn't want my girlfriend or wife going there. You know what I mean? So I'm just real loyal, man. So my buddy was getting ready to get married in Las Vegas, and his father-in-law wanted to take him out, and they were Japanese or Korean or something. And they were his father-in-law's a real big gambler. Like he'll put $10,000 on a hand of blackjack and not even think anything about it. And when he wins, he spreads the wealth out. Like he wins, he might throw you $1,000 to go put on, something else on a hand of your own or whatever. So my wife at the time was like, "You're not going to go to strip club with them, are you?" And I'm like, "What kind of father-in-law is going to take his future son-in-law to strip clubs the night before they get married? That's not, he's not going to do that, and I wouldn't do that anyway to you." And she's like, "You promised me." I say, "No matter what, I wouldn't go to a strip club." So long story even longer, we get in the car to go with them. We start headed straight to the seedy side of town where there's strip clubs in Las Vegas. And they barely speak English. And my friend, who's best friend since we were kids, said, "Hey, where are we going?" And they're like, "Oh, you'll see, or whatever." And I was like, "Dude, I knew where we were going." So I told him, "I can't go in a strip club, right? Like I don't do that." And he kept telling me, "Hey, let's just go gamble. I don't want to do that." No, it's your last night single, this and that. This is his father-in-law. Like it's your last night single. So they go in. I sat in the van that they had. I was like, you think they have a nicer vehicle than a van, considering he's dropping $10,000 a hand on blackjack. But I'm sitting there. Security guard comes and tells me that I've got to move. I can't be sitting in a van on there. They've had robberies on their parking lot, whatever. So I'm like, all right. He said, "You got to go in." I was like, "I'm not going in." So I go sit on a park bench or whatever, a bench by the road. You can't even be on our property. So I go stand across the street, just standing there, man, just looking like. So I'm there about like an hour. No, they're not coming back out. They're obviously going to be there all night. And so Las Vegas, things look a lot closer than they are, and you're in the desert. So I start walking towards Circus. I'm like north of Circus at this point. About 2 miles into my walk, it's no closer to me. Like Circus doesn't look any closer to me. I walk around a corner, run into a guy breaking into a truck. He screams, I scream because we ran into each other. He said, sorry. He takes off running with a huge screwdriver the opposite direction. It's like craziness. So I get walking, I get about 100 yards from Circus Circus, and I see a 12-foot high barbed wire fence dividing a railroad track and another 12-foot high barbed wire fence. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? And so I decided to climb the 12-foot high barbed wire fence, all because I wanted to keep my word that I wasn't going to a strip club. So I started to climb the fence, slice my hand open on the barbed wire. I'm bleeding everywhere. At that point, I see a Mexican gang. I'm just assuming they were Mexican, but they looked like a Mexican gang encircling me, getting ready to jump me. One of them is like crawling down the top of the train, like waiting for me to jump the fence. I got other ones over here hiding, just crazy. So I pick up like a piece of like a wood from a pallet and a rock, and I'm ready to like fight like gladiator style, you know what I mean, or whatever. Like trying to tell them to come on, let's fight or whatever, throwing rocks at them and stuff. There's like probably 12 of them. But long story short, I don't remember why I started telling you this. It had to do with being loyal and not doing or
keeping
doing
your word.
keeping your
Yeah,
word.
we're talking about fighting,
keeping your word.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get back to the hotel. I end up, long story, I get back to the hotel. I'm covered in blood. My friend is calling my hotel room. I know what happened to me. My ex-wife starts accusing me of killing somebody. Why else am I covered in blood? Because I had a white shirt on, covered in blood. You must have killed somebody. You did this or that. Starts accusing me of stuff. All that to say, I'll go to those extremes to keep my word, man. You know what I mean? Like that's like, so like when your wife doesn't want you to perform at Christmas at a strip club, maybe think like, hey, Sean almost died and I go to a strip club.
Okay, it's not Christmas. It's December 18th. It's a week
almost
before.
Christmas. But the point of that story is she's going to be mad at you either way.
Yeah.
She's mad at me.
It's crazy because I said, no, I'm not doing it. I actually gave the gig to Greg Wilson anyway, because I got another gig in Dallas. And then, of course, the guy comes back and goes, will you judge an exotic dancing competition the week you're in Vegas? And I'm like, fuck. And then he's giving me twice as much for that. And so I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, I turned this down. I got offered this. She's like, oh, this is okay.
Right. You'll probably still end up paying for it. But no, I'm just that way, man. When I get my word on something, I dislocate. Actually, Tom Erickson dislocated my rib from my spine 4 days out from me fighting Pujanowski in the main event of KSW 24, and I still fought. Like literally dislocated a rib from my spine. Went to the ER. They couldn't pop it back in. Went to a chiropractor. They couldn't put it back in. I went ahead and fought anyway.
Why did he do that 4 days before? Why were you hard sparring?
We weren't. We were just moving around. But since Tom Erickson is like He-Man, just him grabbing me and turning me turning me just a little bit, working was enough to pull my rib from my spine. You know what I mean, or whatever. Like we weren't even doing anything hard. He's just that strong. But yeah, I still fought. I could have pulled out, should have pulled out, but I didn't. And then everybody claims I was out of shape and I was this and that. And I'm like, no, I just had a dislocated rib, like from my spine. Like it makes it a little hard to breathe. But yeah, that's why I fought my last couple of fights, because once I gave my word, I never should have given my word, but once I did, I always stick with what I say I'm going to do, man. That story ended up way longer than I
No, it's all good, man. Listen, by the way, so there's a couple things I wanted to show you guys in case you guys missed it this week. I know that, let me see, share screen right here. There was a boxing match where the guy ended up getting disqualified. Do you think he should have been disqualified?
And Stevie Spark is already scored. It's a very dangerous.
It froze up, unless you guys are seeing something.
Did you see what happened?
Seen it froze.
It just froze, yeah.
It froze. What about now?
Yeah, the white guy is in the middle of throwing a punch, and the screen just froze.
What about now?
Oh, froze.
Oh, so the guy threw the other guy over the top rope in boxing.
I think he wins, right?
He kind of like did like an underhook, basically like a duck under, picked him up and threw him out, and the guy landed on his feet and then got back in. And they disqualified the guy who threw him. So
that's odd.
Oh, that's no.
Yeah.
I think when you get thrown out of the ring and land on your feet, you probably should automatically win regardless. Like that's pretty impressive that he landed on his feet and was still ready to fight. Like,
so Jake Paul. So have you heard this guy Andrew Tate, Don?
No.
All right. So there's a guy on the internet, right? And he's like basically banned from the internet. And he gives a lot of speech to men. He's kind of like an alpha.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, Andrew Tate, right.
He's a kickboxer, and somebody says some things that are a little bit out there, but a lot of things he says make a lot of sense. Anyway, so now he's going to fight Jake Paul. That's what they're trying to make. Him versus Jake Paul. Can you guys see this one? Hold on. Let's see if you guys can see this. Sean, can you guys see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it froze again at 5 seconds.
All right. So him and Jake. What about now? Hold on. Maybe if I don't blow it up. Yeah, can you guys see it?
Yeah, them talking to each other is all I see.
Yeah. So him and Jake Paul are squaring up. I've seen this guy Andrew Tate fight before. I'm not that impressed. I mean, it seems like every time I see him spar, his head is up, his hands are down, and maybe he's just fucking around, but I don't know. I think Jake Paul wins this based on, I got to watch more of this Tate guy. It'll be a huge fight, though. Holy shit, that would be a huge fight.
Yeah.
Sean?
I think Tate, it's hard to tell, man, because the same thing. I've seen him spar and I've seen him box, and I've seen him look very amateurish, and I've seen him look pretty decent. But the problem with world like kickboxing champion is kind of like being a karate champion back in the old UFC days. Like this guy was a 5-time ISK kickboxing, or not kickboxing, but like the karate champion. Like, what does that mean? Like, who exactly did he go against? Right. It's hard to tell because kickboxing, there's so many different federations.
It's like winning 5 world championships on the cornfield in Iowa.
Right. Yeah.
Now, if you didn't see, so there was a fight with Floyd Mayweather, fought a YouTuber over the weekend. He won. I guess the guy's pretty big on Twitch or YouTube. Jake Paul was there, and then Tyson Fury's little brother, Tommy Fury, fought on it. I guess he didn't make weight by 8 pounds, so he fought somebody else. The whole time during his fight, Jake was heckling, yelling, "You suck, you suck, you suck." At the end of the fight, Tyson Fury's dad, his name is John Fury, tried to fight Jake Paul. Do you guys see this?
I knew. Although I thought that was George the Animal Steel, I wasn't.
So here he is, Don.
You're taking the shirt off. Hold on.
I thought he was going to start eating the turnbuckle by like George the Animal Steel. That's what I was expecting.
Trying to get out of the ring and get to Jake here.
I mean,
my goodness gracious, this is unfolded.
Yeah, he's in shape, isn't he?
Now John shows.
Oh my God.
This whole planet is becoming pro wrestling, dude. It really is. The entire earth is becoming pro wrestling. It's awesome.
Hey, I give the Furies a lot of credit. If that's your dad growing up, that guy looked like he didn't put up with a lot of shit. That guy looks fucking insane. Man, I mean, they did a reality show. That's the kind of guy that you fought back in the day, Don Frye. These John Fury guys. Holy cow. At the same time, that guy looks, yeah. And then Nate Diaz and his crew were at Madison Square Garden. Nate Diaz slapped one of Dylan Dennis's friends and training partners outside the Garden. Did you see that, Sean?
Yeah, dude. Does Nate Diaz have a stack of get out of jail free cards? Because I don't understand. Like, I threaten someone on the internet and I get arrested. I don't understand how people he just goes around smacking everybody. Everyone's like, well, Nate Diaz smacked somebody again, you know what I mean, or whatever. Like, I don't understand how that works. Is that just allowed? Like, I don't know what's going on, man. Like, if you're Nate Diaz, are you just allowed to slap people? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, they asked for it. It's a Stockton slap. Yeah, so the rite of passage, shit.
Like in the Geneva Convention, like if it's the Stockton slap, if you ask for it, you get it. Like, I don't know. It's
yeah.
And then Sean Strickland, by the way, Sean Strickland. So there's a guy in Vegas that was a professional boxer that said no one could go 10 rounds with him. And anyone that went over 10 rounds, he would give, I don't know, $1,000 to charity, right? So, of course, Sean Strickland shows up to this guy's gym. He outweighs him by 40 pounds and proceeds to talk shit the entire time. Watch. You guys see?
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck me. Fuck you. Now you fucking pussy. What you want in? What you want in? Come on, let's go.
Sean, Don, is that how your sparring sessions went?
No.
Yeah.
Strickland's the one offering 10 grand, or that guy was offering 10 grand?
The other guy, the black guy.
The black guy offered 10 grand and Strickland just showed up. That's a bad day, I guess. If a UFC fighter shows up to collect the 10 grand, that's like, especially if he's that much bigger than you. But yeah, that's odd, man. This seems almost set up. I don't know.
It might have been $1,000 or $100, but Sean Strickland shows up and says, "Come on, you pussy! Come on, motherfucker! Like, what charity is going to accept this money?"
That's what. Yeah, I'm saying, like, it's crazy. Oh God, people are. I'll tell you what. Well, who said in the future everyone will be famous for 15 minutes? Wasn't that like a famous saying or something?
This guy's a pro boxer and says no one can go 10 rounds with me. And Sean Strickland walks in the gym. He has his head up and goes, "Come on, you motherfucker. You fucking pussy. You piece of shit. Fuck your kids." Like, what?
How dare you offer money to charity? You piece of shit.
I think we have to rethink our charity.
I don't know. I just wish Greg was here right now to get his thoughts on it, because I'm sure Greg's head would be exploding. Greg would not be able to take the $10,000 of charity for a fake fight. So,
all right. So Hasim Rahman Jr., Hasim Rahman Sr. is the guy who knocked out Lennox Lewis. His kid, I was supposed to fight Jake Paul, couldn't make the weight. They went back and forth, canceled the fight. So he was supposed to fight Vitor Belfort this week.
right.
And Vitor Belfort got sick. So now he's fighting Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy has stepped in. You know who Greg Hardy is, Don?
I'm trying to remember.
He's the NFL football player that got kicked out of the league, had some domestic violence issue. He could have been a really good football player. Then he went into fighting. He went into the UFC. One of his fights, he brought an inhaler halfway through the fight. Another fight, he got disqualified for hitting the guy when he was down. His last two fights, he basically gassed out and got the shit beaten out of him. So now he's going into boxing. He could have been a good fighter, or still can be, but he's had weight issues. He's like 260. He was like 310. I think it might be the first heavyweight to miss weight, as well as other issues. But he's fighting Rahman Jr. I don't know what weight. I guess at 230, maybe a heavyweight, I guess.
Badass. Yeah.
But I'm
what sense is he was going to fight Jake Paul, at 205, right? Wasn't it? Or
205. He couldn't. It was 200 or something, or so, it was like some weird issue. That happened, and then I don't know if you heard, Don, Anthony Johnson died.
Who?
Anthony Johnson, Rumble Johnson.
Oh, no way. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he died a couple of days ago. Rest in peace.
What happened?
I don't know. I mean, I guess liver failure. I don't want to tell you this now. You're in the hospital for your liver, but he I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened. But
I missed my kidney.
His kidney. But he's been sick for a while. I know he's been sick for a
Thanks
while.
for bringing attention.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Rumble Johnson. Young, like 30.
Yeah.
30.
He was a great fighter. He was a really great fighter. I enjoyed watching.
Yeah, when he fought, I remember they were saying how fat he was when he didn't make 170 one time. The guy's ripped. I mean, not an ounce of fat on him. And everybody talking about how fat he is, like on the underground stuff. I was like, what are you guys talking about? That guy is ripped as you get. And when I saw him in person, I met him in Miami, and I could not believe how big he was. And I was like, dude, how much do you weigh right now? And he was like, I think 230 at the time. It's right after he beat Arlovsky, I think. And I said, did you ever end up making 170? And he thought I was making fun of him.
Yeah.
I was actually asking, did you ever make 170? I know you tried, but I know if you never made it. And he goes, yeah, I made it or whatever. And I said, how'd it go for you or whatever? And he was like, I lost to Josh Koscheck. I was like, Josh Koscheck beat you in a fight? And I was like, just shocked that he do that size could lose to Koscheck, And he thought, I could tell he thought I was trying to make fun of him or play dumb, but I didn't know how to explain to him I really wasn't. I was just shocked that a dude at that size could ever make 170, or whatever. I was like, I could not believe somebody, because he was a big dude, man, and just.
Yeah, I remember we had Cindy Dandois on the show, and Dandois was in love with him. And she was like this hot girl from Belgium, she had like 6 kids or something, and she had a big crush on him. And I made a joke about him, And then he got mad, and then I called him up because I was like, the last guy you want is Anthony Johnson mad at you. And we both started laughing, and he was actually like, and he was really cool. And I told him, I go, hey man, Daniel's pretty hot. You should go for her. And he's like, dude, he goes, I looked at that phone and saw the 6 kids, and I moonwalked away from my phone.
I got 24 of my own. I don't need 6 more.
It's like you moonwalked away from your phone. I can just picture him moonwalking away from his phone. But yeah, he was man, that sucks. Bellator this week, Bellator. It is the rematch between Nemkov and Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson is a guy who was in the UFC, had some good fights. He was beating Nemkov bad, and then got disqualified. I don't know if it was an illegal knee or something happened. So that fight is taking place. Patrick Pitbull Frye, one of the Pitbull brothers, is taking on Usman Nurmagomedov, who's 15-0. And then Tyrell Fortune, 12-2 versus Daniel James. So there's some good fights on this card. This Saturday night in the UFC, it is Derek Lewis versus Sergey Spivak. Sean, any thoughts on this?
I haven't seen the other guys fight, but I would guess where are they fighting at? Is it at the
I think it's in Las Vegas. Spivak has won. He beat Greg Hardy. He beat Augusto Sakai. He's 15-3. He's from Moldova. He's won like 5 out of his last 6. And Derek Lewis has been quitting or getting hurt. Like, I don't think Derek Lewis likes to fight. I think he's a really good fighter. I don't think he likes to train, and I think he likes to win, but I'm not sure he really likes to fight.
He's had I think 30 UFC fights now. I mean, sometimes I think guys just get tired of it at some point. I don't know, but I know when he fights at home, he doesn't do well. So maybe being out of Texas will be good for him. I know when he fights, it seems like when he fights at home, he always says there's a lot of distractions. But I'll always root for Derek Lewis, man. Ever since he said his balls were hot, that's why I did all the plans. I was a fan from that point on. And when he said that shit about Travis Brown, that was so awesome, man. Say he likes to put his hands on women, or whatever. And it's like, where's Ronda Rousey's fine ass at? That was great. I was never a big Travis Brown fan, in case you guys haven't noticed. But,
Travis Brown, yeah, he doesn't like me either. But what's his name? Derek Lewis always but he was married, going, where's Ronda Rousey's fine ass at?
Yeah.
What did he think his wife? You think he just told his wife this is part of the shtick?
I guess probably whenever you tell your wife and you're like, hey, I'm going to a strip club and judge something. It's just a joke for work. Don't worry about it.
I had that problem with my girlfriend. And finally, I said, hey, maybe you're just not cut out to be in a relationship with a celebrity.
Yeah, that'll work out great. I used to have a joke I said on Facebook or Twitter. I would say that my girlfriend recently told me I was immature. So after some deep soul searching, I agreed she was right. So I broke up with her and started dating somebody younger. And that never went over real well. But yeah.
After couples therapy, my wife's like, why do you like being married to me? And I'm like, well, I love you. I'm like, you're kind, you're honest, you got a tight pussy. And she's like, what? She's like,
right. That's better than the alternative. Like you could have said, could have said, despite your not tight pussy.
Yeah, you're in the yes column for all those, honey.
Despite your not tight pussy, I still love you.
Yeah.
Chase Sherman is taking on this guy, Waldo Cortez Acosta. So this guy, Don, he was I think a minor league baseball player. And he was a pitcher, and all his punches he throws and just knocks people out. Like, I'm not sure he knows any other moves. Then this overhand. Why are you laughing, Sean?
Just thinking about a guy going out there he was putting his hands behind his back like Jorge Masvidal does, before, like he punched somebody and then winded up and throwing a wild. I don't know. Just picturing it was funny to me.
I swear, because his coach is like, you got to see this guy. He's from Cuba and he's a baseball player and he can throw 112-mile-an-hour fastball. And all he does is this fucking I'm not sure he even knows how to fight. Like he literally, I don't think he knows any jiu-jitsu.
Maybe he has no ball control at all, and he just hit so many guys with pitches. He got into fighting because they kept rushing the mound, and he was like, "I better learn how to fight if I'm going to keep throwing like this." And that'd be awesome if he was the first pitcher to ever have a knockout right hand. That would be awesome.
He's a heavyweight. You got to see this guy. He's fighting, and he fought 2 weeks ago. I guess he's a pitcher. He's on a pitching schedule. So yeah, he's fighting this week, and Chase Sherman, who the what do they call him, like the Vanilla Gorilla or something, or the Killer Gorilla?
Yeah, I actually know Chase personally, man. Chase is a good dude. I think he's like 3-9 in the UFC. So he's doing way better than Smiling Sam Alvey. But but Chase is tough though, man. It seems like he's always in there slugging it out, and it just seems like he always comes up on the wrong end of an exchange. But he fought a friend of mine when I fought for Roy Jones Promotion. That's the first time I ever met Chase. He fought a guy I was managing and one of his fighters. And man, he kicks like a mule, man. He kicks hard and hits hard. He's got good stand up, and it just seems like he gets in there and starts exchanging with him, and it seems like he's always on the wrong end of a nasty exchange, man. So
yeah, so he's fighting this week. This guy Ian Catalaba is fighting Kennedy and Zekuwo. I'm sure you guys know those guys. Andre Fialho is taking on Muslim Salikov. Mara Moreau, she's a little hottie. Kevin, I actually know these guys. This girl, Vanessa Demopoulos, who used to be a stripper, and she wrote a book called The Stripper Bible. She is fighting Maria Oliveira. So she's the one that keeps jumping in Joe Rogan's arms after her fights.
Right.
Yeah.
She jumps down into Joe Rogan's arms after her fights, falls down into his arms.
Yeah. So that's this Saturday. And then in also what's going on in bare knuckle boxing, actually in Masvidal's fight promotion, Pearl Gonzalez. She's the one that fought in New York. They almost didn't let her fight because she has implants. Super hot. She's got her OnlyFans. You could see almost everything on it. So I hear. And she's fighting in Masvidal's promotion this weekend. Some guy named Ben Sosoli who drew on abs on him. I'll show you what this guy looks like. Hold on. So he you see him?
Oh, he literally drew them on him. I thought you meant he had carved like plastic surgery was on. He actually drew them on. That's something, I'll tell you that. I was in Las Vegas one time, man. I'll never forget. I was in Las Vegas, and there was some guy there who had a huge gut, but who apparently had a lot of money because he had the perfectly etched abs. Like he had someone, a plastic surgeon, going and etch out an 8-pack for him. That was perfect, but his waist was probably like a 52 still. So
was it Buffer? I think Bruce Buffer might have had like those fake abs. He's just like there was a picture.
Yeah, it's really weird because it looks real, like it looks like real muscles, but it's like it's just etched, like drawn or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably like all the fake pussy he gets. I would guess out there too when he.
I don't know about that. I'm gonna say those abs are suspect. So in bare knuckle boxing this week, Houston Alexander is fighting Joey Beltran.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like Don Frye's in better shape? Did they call you this week, Don, for the bare knuckle boxing event?
But I turned them down because I wanted to go judge a strip club in Las Vegas.
You want to come with me? You want to be the judge December 4th? Do you want to come?
How much money is?
I don't know. I could talk to him about having me and you both be the judges. So
talk away. That fight promotion found out Don was only in the hospital for kidneys. It's like, if he's not in there for brain damage, we're not interested in having him. Like we need guys who have definite brain damage in this fight promotion.
Yeah, Houston Alexander versus Joey Beltran. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a good fight. Those guys both, I mean, shit. Have they ever been? Well, Houston was in the worst fight ever against Kimbo. That must have been the worst fight one of them I've ever seen. Dakota
The
Cochran.
one was probably worse than that was when he boxed his son, but that was probably a worse.
Did he really?
Yeah, I think he beat up his son for like getting in trouble at school or something. Like he boxed.
Oh yeah, right. Robbie Peralta's taking on Dakota Cochran. Cochran, we talked about it. Some of the stuff he's done before in his past. Good guy. But Yushin Okami is fighting this weekend in one championship. Just so you guys know, Yushin Okami, and then who else is on? They have a whole thing. Oh, Greg Hardy is taking on Rahman Jr. on in DAZN or DAZN. Cody Gibson.
DAZN is still a thing. I thought they went out of business.
No. And then this week, Cody Gibson. He's the guy that he had the debate against Hector Lombard. He's a school teacher. Good guy, really good guy. He's the guy that got into a bar fight that said, "Google me, bro," and then was like, because he was in the UFC and it made it to TMZ. So he was fighting Francisco Rivera. Yeah, so Pearl Gonzalez is taking on Ivana Coleman in Game Bred Boxing 3. So that's Masvidal's thing. Game Bred Boxing 3.
There's a kid named Devin Cushing, man, too, that is he's related to Masvidal's partner in that Game Bred Boxing. I think he's like 10 or 11, 12 and 0, something like that. He's trained by Roy Jones Sr. So Roy Jones' dad boxes. That kid can fight, man. I've seen him box 4 or 5 times. I don't know. He took some time off during COVID, but he's still young. But I think they're talking about he's a future possible world champion, man. Devin Cushing, that kid can fight.
So I'll look out for him. So Chimaev says that Alex Pereira is easy money. Why do I feel like he's kind of right? Because Chimaev.
Well, for Chimaev, he might be because Chimaev appears to be as amazing a wrestler as everyone says. I think it's interesting, man, because I think any really good wrestler is going to be able to take. Well, I think it's weird how it's Pereira. Like if the first R is an H, why is the second R an H? It should be Pereira or whatever. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if they do that matchup. I would be surprised if he wins a 185-pound title, man. That would be interesting to see.
That's going to be a crazy fight. I mean, that's almost like a UFC 1 fight where you got two guys exact, like the striker versus wrestler. So Don, what do you got coming up?
That's what if I live through the week.
And so we don't know how long Don's in the hospital. Can people send you cards or anything, or DM you or anything? How can they reach out to you? Do you like getting stuff or no?
No. Save your money. Just send money. Just send money.
Save everything but your money if it's going to buy.
Send it to Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity, whatever you want to say.
Got it. Sean, any more dogs for sale or no?
No, I'm actually trying to get. I've got a gay dog, which is nice when you pay $10,000 for a dog. This dog humps the other males. I have a dog in heat right now. $10,000 dog in heat. This dog will not breed with her. He will not.
What's his name? What did you name him?
I call him Big Boy. I call him a lot of things now that aren't. Mostly start with the F word, and it's not fun. But
you can call him Cruz or Buffer. There's so many.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It's mostly the other F word is what I call him. But he'll hump the other male dogs. He will hump his dog house. He'll hump his dog bowl. He will not touch the female. I was actually out there having a threesome with him yesterday, trying to hold her, put him on here, push his hips. Like, this is how you do it. Like, trying to get him to do it. I called vets. I've called other breeders. They've never heard of such a thing. Other breeders are like, I've never seen a male.
This is karma. This is karma for all those Bruce Buffer jokes you've made.
I guess it is, man. Yeah, it's coming back on me. But it's I talked to a vet. He goes, that's impossible. There is no male dog that won't try to breed with a female. I was like, he won't even mount him. He won't even attempt. He'll go around. Get this. He'll lick her butthole. He licks her butthole. He'll lick her butthole and he'll stick her tail down his mouth and choke on it down his throat. Like, so he's like taking her tongue and jamming it down his throat.
He's trying to deep throat her tongue. He's trying to deep throat the tongue.
Yeah. So like he's doing everything a gay dog would do. And I'm sitting here thinking like, dude, this can't be real. I've got two $10,000 dogs and one of them's gay. And I'm trying to breed him and he will not breed, dude. I'm telling you.
Can you record this? This will be your thing.
Oh, no, hell, absolutely. It's unbelievable. It is absolutely like it is beyond belief. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen dogs, like when a female's in heat, a dog will chew its own leg off to get to that female. Not this one.
Why don't you accept him? Why don't you accept his lifestyle and just
no, that's one thing. No, he's going to be going to the Humane Society if he's
dude. I'll take the gay dog. How much is the gay dog? How much is the gay dog?
I thought about hitting up Buffer or Dominic Cruz and seeing if they wanted a dog that they
how much are you selling this gay dog for real?
Golly, dude. I'll just actually you wouldn't want the dog. He'll make your life hell. But
why? I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I think you should be more open-minded.
He should be celebrated, no, dude, it's unbelievable. It is absolutely, and I can't. It's a long story, but you have to diversify your genetics when you're breeding dogs, or else you're not going to have a dog kennel very long. You know, like you can't breed a brother to a sister. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that. So you got to diversify your genetics. I could pay a stud to have different genetics, but that's another $10,000 that I'm throwing out the window.
Can you dress the girl up like a dude?
Dude, I'm not kidding you. I actually was going to try to trick him into getting like a male out there and him start humping the male and see if I can pull the bait and switch and like move the male out of the way, put the female there, like and do something. He will not do it.
Don, do you have any advice, Don, for the gay dog?
Know nothing about that kind of stuff, but every dog, horse I've had always works.
I can't. Maybe you should put on Ellen or something, or like you gotta get him in the mood.
Dude, I'm not kidding. You got to hear, man. When I talk to breeders or vets, you got to hear if they're like, wait a minute, let me get this straight. You have a male dog that will not mount or try to breed with the female. Are you sure she's in heat? I'm like, well, she's bleeding, and all the other males are going crazy trying to get to her, like absolutely crazy, humping the air, just sitting there humping, twerking the air, like trying to get to her. He goes up, smells her, gags on her tail a little bit, licks her butthole, and then goes over and smells the ground. Now, anytime he's with the males, he does nothing but hump them nonstop. Like he can't get enough of the males, but he will not he will not. It's driving me crazy. I'll send you a video later. It's driving me crazy, like absolutely crazy.
What is your fiance laughing at this or no?
Yeah, she's just sitting there thinking like, well, maybe he's just not ready yet. And I'm like, well, females only have like a 3 to 5 day span where they can get pregnant, where they'll allow it. You know, like past that, they won't breed. So like, I've got to decide something now, or I have to wait another full year, you know what I mean? Like for her next heat and everything to do this. And so it's kind of hard to make any money breeding dogs when you can't get them to breed. So
are there like parade? Is he having a parade in front of your house or anything? Or
dude, I'll tell you what, oh God, you gotta hear me talk to him. It's so funny. You would think I was I don't know. You would think that I was about to perform a hate crime or whatever.
No, listen, stop calling him the F word. That's not appropriate. Okay. I think you got to just reason with him. Maybe be like, listen, I know a lot of gay guys who've had sex with girls, you know, they tried it out, or like, you know, once in a while, you know, I know lesbians that sometimes they like dick, but they go back to you got to just, you know, be like, listen, this is a favor. I know you don't like it. Think of something else, but there's got to be something we can do here.
Right, yeah. Maybe just aim for her butthole and then pretend it's a dude, and maybe we'll get lucky and get a shot in there.
Yeah, like you blow him, and then transfer it into her vagina.
Yeah, that'll be well. That was my second. That's my secret weapon. I don't want to tell anybody, but that's my.
Jesus, Don, you didn't have to go there, man. That now I'm going to think. All right, well, listen, that's our podcast. December 4th to the 10th, I'm in Vegas. I think I'm going to be judging a strip club contest at one of the clubs. I'll put it at the library, but I think it's called Cheetahs, the Cheetah Club in Las Vegas. You guys are awesome. Love you guys. Don, get better, man. Call me if you need me. You guys are the best.
Hey guys.
Good night, guys.